I took all 4 bagfuls of stuff to this video game store and I popped them on the counter. I said, can I trade some stuff in?
Here we go!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Free Trading Game Collection. In today's video, we are going to purge a lot of the collection because when I was moving things around, I was putting things back on the shelf thinking, do I really want this? Do I need this? No. So I started filling bags. I had 4 massive bags for life full of collection that we're just going to trade in. Before we get there though, if you've missed any of the previous episodes, there is a playlist linked in the description. Incidentally, it's linked under today's sponsor. Thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video. Now, for anything like me, and you're sat down like this at your desk for 12 hours a day, it can get quite painful and uncomfortable when you stand up, and especially when you just sat there, maybe your back starts hurting. So, with this E7 desk that is available on their website with a discount until the end of January, with one push of a button, the desk will rise to the same height that I need for standing, and then I can push my chair to one side and carry on doing what I was doing, now without the backache. And of course, when you decide that you want to sit back down again, one push of a button and it will go right back down to that exact same position it was in. Ignore the wires, it's a work in progress. As I mentioned, the Standing Desk Premium E7 is currently on sale till the end of January. You can choose your colour of frame, you can choose your desktop colour as well. They also have a choice of sizes per desk as well as accessories such as chairs and the like. The link is in the description. Thank you very much, FlexiSpot, for sponsoring today's video. So, as I've done in previous episodes, I've decided to purge some of the collection. Now, I know a lot of you may not be happy about this, but for me, collecting video games isn't just a case of let's go and buy some games, throw them on the shelf and never use them. Every game you see behind me, I've either played in the past and have a nostalgia feeling for, or I intend to play going forward. Believe it or not, I do actually play video games. So, having things on the shelf like F1 on the N64, I'm never going to play it, so why the hell is it there? So in the bag it goes. And then I was thinking about all the N64 games I have, all 3 of them, Star Wars, World Cup and that F1. I've never had the urge to play it. I do have some nostalgia for those games, but not enough to warrant just keeping them on the shelf for the sake of it. So in the bag they went. I put the Big Box Theme Park game in the bag as well. The PS2 that you see behind me trades in for 90 quid in CEX. It went in the bag. I took it with me. More about that later. So the other things, I've got about 7 Xbox 360 controllers. Who knew? 2 came with the one I got from Regenerate, 2 came with the Xbox the other day. I already had 1 or 2 anyway, and I picked up another one somewhere else. I don't know where these controllers have come from. I have like 3 tubs down there full of wires and controllers that are all part of this collection. I haven't got them anywhere else. And I had a spare N64 controller, and I had a tub full of Xbox 360 controllers and the wires to go with some of the consoles. I could not believe it. Some of them aren't trade-worthy, but I've kept one for my personal console. I've kept one for the console that I still need to fix and sell, and then the rest of them I just took with me to the video game store to trade, as well as that spare N64 controller that I had. And then I stumbled on a stack, and I say a stack, a pretty sizable stack of PlayStation 2, a couple of odd games mixed in here or there, from when I picked up that PS2, and that we had a whole box full of games. I've sold a lot of them, and in fact, this stack is all I have left, but I completely forgot I had it, so I thought I'll just take it with me and see what happens. We had some Xbox 360 games. I think Sleeping Dogs was in there. There was an Evil Within on the Xbox 360. Final Fantasy, I think there was in there. I can't remember when I got them and how I got them. I think they came with an Xbox 360 at some point. They were maybe a little bit too scratched to trade into CEX, but I took them with me to this video game store. And I keep calling it the video game store because they've asked me not to mention them. Although, if you can read, you'll probably find out who they are by the end of this video, and I've been there before, so it's going to be pretty obvious, but I won't mention them. So, with that being said, I took all 4 bagfuls of stuff to this video game store on a Monday morning when I thought I would be completely safe to trade things in. I would say, and this is what happened, but I didn't actually film me trying to trade it in because I don't really think it's fair to the staff for me to be doing that. So let me paint you a picture. I walked into the video game store, 4 bags in hand, and I say that I had 2, my wife had 2, and I popped them on the counter. I said, can I trade some stuff in? And his face dropped. He was not impressed. And he said, it's going to take me a long time to go through that, which is fine. I was expecting it. But he said that I may not be able to get through it today. It may be tomorrow morning. Is that okay? Well, unfortunately for me, this particular video game store is well over an hour from my house, and I wasn't going to be going back there the next morning to find out how much credit I had. So, unfortunately, I couldn't trade in all 4 bagfuls of stuff. Just wasn't viable. My fault, not blaming them. They had some stuff left over on the weekend that they were trading in. It's not like CEX where they've got like loads of members of staff and they can just process things really quickly. 100% my fault. Should have messaged ahead, and I was going to, but in the end I just didn't. So I took everything back to the car and I just grabbed like 2 handfuls of things. The N64 games, I took them back because I knew that they would be very quickly processed. The Xbox 360, a couple of Xbox 360 controllers, and the stack of Xbox 360 games that I had. And I think there were 1 or 2 PlayStation 2 games that I just sort of grabbed off the top as well. I'd love to be able to show you exactly what I traded, and there is going to be an element of trust here because I understand that I could just say that I got this much credit and just spend cash, but honestly I'm not the type of person to do that. Not because I wouldn't lie, I just wouldn't buy games with cash where I can help it. So I was in this particular video game store, nearly said it then, looking at my choices really, while the guy behind the counter was processing everything. Now they price match CEX, but they also go off eBay as well. So if the item isn't available on CEX, they will look on eBay, and even if the item is on CEX, they'll look on eBay to see if the condition makes a difference, such as N64 games, because the price they gave me on Star Wars was considerably more than what CEX offer. So price match wouldn't have made much sense there. They actually gave me more because the condition of it was quite good. So I'm looking around, I'm having a little look to see what I can pick up. Mega Drive wise, I was a little bit disappointed, I won't lie. There was a Mickey game there that I honestly thought I had, but as it turns out I don't, so I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't pick that up. But there wasn't really anything there that I wanted. I'm not going to just pick up games for the sake of it. If I have any intention, I mentioned this before already in this video, but if I have any intention of actually playing the game, or I've played it before, I will pick it up. However, if I look at it and it just doesn't look like something I'm interested in, I'm not going to bother, because what is the point in having a game on the shelf I'm never intending to use? So unfortunately, no Mega Drive games there that I wanted. There was an unboxed Mega Drive game, annoyingly, that I wanted, Evander Holyfield. I really want that boxed. I don't collect unboxed Mega Drive games. I don't have a way to display them. It doesn't look very good. I'm not a big fan of it. So I'll wait until I can get a boxed Evander Holyfield. But that was a bit frustrating. However, I was very surprised by what he said when he said, okay, I'm ready to give you the amount. So I walked back over to the counter and he said, you've got £68, I think it was £68 in credit. I was genuinely surprised. Very happy because my rough calculation was about £35. So he gave me more for the Star Wars game. I think that traded in for like £19, whereas CEX don't trade it in for that much. In fact, they nearly sell it for £19. So I'm a little bit confused why he gave me that. Wasn't going to question it. £6 or £7 for the F1 game, which was quite surprising. A £5 for World Cup, which is nothing compared to what CEX give. They don't really give an awful lot. And obviously like £10 each for the controllers. Or £11 each, sorry, for the controllers. And then that small stack of Xbox 360 and PS2 games, they trade in for like £3 or £4 each. And one of them, I think, went in for £6. Final Fantasy was one of them that traded in for £3, which CEX give like £1 for. So really good prices in there. Very, very happy with what I came out with. £68 in credit took me by surprise. I had to then go and spend it, of course, so I had another look around the store. I fully intended on buying some Mega Drive games. But, like I said, unfortunately, the choice just wasn't quite there. Say that. There was quite a few there. There's more than any CEX I've been in recently has had, but just nothing that I really wanted, which is a bit frustrating. There are another few of these stores lying around. I could have got a credit note and gone to one of those, but didn't really intend on going to those, so I decided just to spend all the credit here because I didn't know when I would be back. And I just started looking at some random stuff. Now, Because the Mega Drive selection wasn't for me, I thought next best thing, in fact maybe even better at this point, is the Switch section. Quite a lot of Switch games to choose from. One that I actually regret not buying, and that was the new Pokemon game. Was it Scarlet? I forget which one it was, Violet or Scarlet. £36. CEX sell this for 42, I think. So a pretty decent £6 discount on the CEX price. And I got more credit for this than I ever would in CEX. So I was very tempted to buy this, and I actually regret not buying it. But then, having said that, I don't regret the games that I actually bought, so swings and roundabouts. I was a little bit sad, in a way, that I hadn't planned this trade, because giving me £68 for just a handful of stuff that I grabbed out of the back of the car, it almost in frustration. Imagine how much I would have had I traded in all 4 bags. There were a few things that he handed back to me, actually, that were too badly scratched. There were a couple of PS2 games like Van Helsing and things, a little Harry Potter game. I say little, it's the same size as Van Helsing. But yeah, they were just too badly scratched to trade, so I had to leave those. And I'm sure a lot of my stuff that I took there would have been in the same way. But yeah, coming away with £68 in credit and being able to pick up quite a few games, actually, that I really wanted. One of which in particular, I didn't know an awful lot about, but I had seen a very, very quick sort of silent review, if you will. I watched the review without headphones, and the volume was muted. So why did you do that? I didn't do it intentionally, it just kind of happened. So I saw a little bit of this game, knew that from just the visuals that I wanted to play it, and I did pick it up. And that is actually the game that I mentioned in a few episodes ago that I've been playing a lot of lately. So you'll get to find out finally what that game is. A lot of people thought it was Persona 5, but obviously we already own that, so I'll show you what it is in just a second. So I walked out of there with 3 games. Now, technically, I actually walked out of there with about 12, but a lot of them were bought with cash that we're going to include in the spending the profit, which I'll talk about in another video. So I picked up 3 games using the credit. I actually went over by about £2.30 or something, so we'll take that out of the cash profit. Speaking of the cash profit, don't know if I've mentioned it, I will adjust it as much as I possibly can and as best I can at the end of this episode, because some of the things that I actually traded in were in the to sell pile that I've allocated sale prices for. So a few of the PlayStation 2 games that I took with me, a big stack of them, I think are actually in the to sell pile. So I only traded in like 4 of them. 2 of them were rejected. The other ones I just left in another bag because, like I said, I couldn't trade it all in because I didn't have the time. But I will try and adjust figures as much as I possibly can. I will be a bit harsh with it as well, just so that we are making sure that we are in profit. So let me talk about the one Wii U game that I picked up first. So this is a game that has been in my local CEX for quite a while. They've had it there in, good enough condition for me to buy. 50 pence more expensive than this store. Whew, what a saving I've made. I mean, to be fair, like I said, they price match and they do undercut as well, so it is definitely the best place to go. It's a shame I can't tell you where it is, but a lot of you will probably know already. But I've been looking to buy this for quite a while. I don't really think many people like it that much, but it is Paper Mario Color Splash on the Wii U. I really, really want to build out my Wii U collection, but I don't think there are that many more games on the console that I actually want. There are obviously games, Mario Party 10, some Zeldas and things, as well as a couple of Kirby games I think that I actually want. But apart from that, I'm nearly done with Wii U. I have the games I want, and the games that I need to get, there are maybe only 5 or 6. Possibly a little bit more if you include things like Pikmin and stuff. I've never really been into Pikmin though. But either way, this is in very good condition. It is complete with all kinds of literature and manuals and things. And of course the disc, which is in very good condition as well. £19.50 I spent on that bad boy, which I think is a pretty good price considering that we got it with credit. Credit for things that I forgot were in the collection, that I had ready to go to trade into this store, and those N64 games, which together traded in for like £30 plus between them. So I was very happy with the amount that I got for these things. And to trade like a whole bunch of that stuff and only come away with 3 games, to a lot of people might sound a bit stupid, but to me, I'm going to play these. One of them I've nearly finished already. The other one I'm going to start next because I'm really excited to play it, and that is a game that I really want in the collection and I will get to at some point. The PlayStation 4 section, there was a game there, and I forget, what was it? Was it Dying Light 2? I think it was Dying Light 2. And I think it was PS5, and I think it was a Steelbook, and it was £28. And then the PlayStation 4 version was 30 something, and it was just the standard edition. I couldn't quite work out why the PS4 version was more expensive than the PS5. I know that is the case for some things, but I really didn't know why it was like that on a relatively new release. I really wanted that Steelbook, and I would like to say that I bought it, and I'll show you in another episode. I didn't. It's probably been sold by now, but I really wanted it. And I decided against it. There were 2 reasons why I decided against it. One, I really wanted these 2 other games more. And the other reason, I'll mention in another video. So, the second game that I've picked up that I'm going to show you. And this is the game that I have been addicted to recently. I dread to think how many hours I've put into it. It is Arcade Paradise. Now, cover the name. It was $22.99. It was brand new as well. They obviously sell brand new games. This was brand spanking new, so it wasn't in the pre-owned section. $22.99. Had they had a pre-owned version, this may have been cheaper. In CEX, I think it is more expensive than this, and of course their games are all second-hand, so a bit of a weird one. But that is, honestly, this is a fantastic game. If you're into like sim games, and the whole point of this game is you are in a laundrette, you're running it for your dad, and you try and make it a success. In the back is a very, very small arcade. The whole point of the game is to build out the arcade to make more money than the laundrette and eventually just close down the laundrette and just have a fully fledged arcade. That's the goal. I don't know how far I am from the end. I cannot be that far. The laundrette is nearly gone. I'm rinsing this game. You can play all of the arcade cabinets as well. It's so good. It is so good. I love these type of things. So if you know of any more of games that are like this, so I'm talking like, games where you've got to try and make money, maybe even a build out, almost like The Sims in a way, but not The Sims because that's just a little bit too much for me. I do like these type of games. So yeah, if you know of any, especially on the Switch, let me know because I just play them to death and I love them. That is a fantastic game for £23 brand new, all day, every day. Thank you very much. The next and final game, I'm actually a little bit nervous to take the sticker off because it is a cardboard box, and that is because it is a special edition of sorts, I guess. This, again, was also brand new, £28, which I thought was quite good. It is a Switch game. It is 2 Point Campus, which I very nearly bought on the PS5 during Black Friday and then again during the January sales, and I decided not to. And I'm so glad I didn't because the Switch, I've mentioned it a couple of times already, it is by far 100% my favourite console at this moment in time. I would much rather sit down and play on the Switch than I would the PS5. There, I said it. And I know the Switch is, 6 years old by now, nearly coming up to. And I don't even have the best version of the Switch. But I just cannot get enough of being able to play it handheld, going into docked mode, maybe doing it like tabletop, like standing up on the desk and playing it. Since I've picked up that new desk, incidentally, I have actually been stood up playing the Switch. And it doesn't make any sense for me to do that. Of course, it would make sense had I had like a sports game or something. But it's just fun. The different ways that you can play it is insane, and I'm into it a lot more. I'm actually going to open this now because I want to know what's inside it. There's the box. Very, very excited to put that on the shelf. It's going to look really cool. We have a prospectus, which is pretty awesome. 2 Point Campus, by the way, is basically. I think it's almost like homage to the old theme park, theme hospital days, because they had that 2 Point Hospital, which I've got on PS4, which I haven't played yet, but I think I would if I had it on the Switch, so I'm kind of tempted to get it on the Switch. I'm not going to trade it in on the PS4, because I will play it on there probably at some point, but I'm okay with doubling up as well. I didn't really understand the point of it before, but now as time goes on, even in the last couple of months, I understand why people have the same game on different platforms. And I never understood it, but now I get it. I fully understand why you'd have a game on the Switch and on the PS5 and it's the same game. But there we are. So there's that. What else do I get here as well? There is a campus map, which is pretty cool. So that is a map of the entire campus. I don't really want to open it, but at the same time, I am going to. Oh my god. There it is. I will not get that back, but there is the map of the entire campus. Oh, it went back quite easy. And then, of course, the game. The cardboard insert is there as well. And the game. There it is. Happy days. Like I said, I've never played it. Oh, I also get 2-point bonus pack. Get bonus themed items for 2 Point Hospital as well as campus. So I almost need to get it on the Switch now, don't I? Yeah. But there we are. That game going into the collection. So on screen for you are adjusted figures. I was expecting to have to adjust them a lot more than I have, but I haven't actually traded in a lot of the stuff that I had in bags. I've since put it all away as well, because I don't intend on going back there again, and I don't think CEX trade prices are really worthy. In terms of things like PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, I've decided that PlayStation 2, maybe not so much. I'm going to purge that collection down a little bit. So I'm going to only collect the games that I really, really want. And I think I'm probably only going to have 20 PlayStation 2 games by the end of it, because there just aren't that many games on that console that I have really fond memories of. I played a lot of it, but I played a lot of the same games. The PS1, I don't think there's anything on that console that I really want. Theme Park, honestly, is the only game I can think of that I actually really care about owning on the PS1, and it's available on other platforms that I probably played it more, so like the Sega Saturn, for example. So probably going to purge the entire PS1 collection at some point as well. I actually intended on doing it when I went to this video game store, but like I said, I didn't have time for them to trade it all in, so I had to leave it. So they're back on the shelf for the time being, but there it is. I have 2 Mega Drive 2s, one that I was keeping pristine in the box, but I've decided I'm just going to put it out on display. So the other one is now up for grabs. I'm going to trade that in. I get £40. It is complete, so I may do that at some point as well. I still have the Wii because I didn't have time to trade that in. I still have an Xbox 360 to sell. I just need to fix it. I've still got a few games of the PS2 that was on the side ready to sell that I can trade in at some point as well. And that PS2 that you see behind me is going into a CEX soon, because I find PS2s in boot sales fairly often. So I don't think there's any point in me keeping it. I'm not that bothered about it being boxed. So to get £90 in credit for something that is just on the shelf being boxed, and I don't really play that often, if ever, I'm kind of okay with it. So yeah, I'm going to just trade it and get £90 in credit for it and pick up some stuff that I actually want for the collection. Really want a GameCube at some point. Really want a Sega Saturn at some point as well. And I want to fill out some of the collections as well. Like, get some more GameCube games, some first party stuff, and fill out more of these platforms as well. Another Wii U game. I'm not too far away, I don't think, from finishing my Wii U collection. I don't want to collect things for the sake of it. I've mentioned it before. I think there's a couple of Kirby games. There's a few Zelda games. You know, we're not like finished because the games I want to collect on the Wii U now do have a little bit of value to them. So we are going to have to try and find them first and foremost, and then we're going to have the credit or use the cash to buy them. But we're getting there with that. Not too far away. This we're miles off. There are so many games I want on this console, but we are making little chips away here or there. If you have played any of these, in particular this bad boy, and you have an opinion of it, let me know what it is in the comments. But if you have enjoyed this episode of the Free Trading Game Collection, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, of course, and until the next time, goodbye.